Good dawning to thee, friends, and welcome to episode 8B of Sonnet Sisters. I'm Jennifer, and I'm here again with David Robertson.
Hello.
And in this episode, we're going to be doing an analysis of Shakespeare's sonnet number 8. Okay, so here we are, back with sonnet number 8, having had a bit more of an in-depth look at it and trying to understand it. Do you feel like you understand it a bit better now?
A bit better, yes. The hardest thing was the first 3 words, music to hear.
It is a really weird opening, isn't it?
Yeah.
To call someone music to hear. You are music to hear. But without any context, because it comes straight in with that. It's a very strange opening. But once you understand that, it sort of makes sense.
Yes, I'd say just for ordinary speaking, your voice is music to my ears, yet it seems you make music yes, you make music sad. Or music makes you sad, put it that way. Yes,
yeah.
There's a funny word coming up here, sweets with sweets, war not. And if you're not careful, war can just sound like a noise, but it does mean battle. It means clash. It means, they don't fight each other. Sweets like being with sweets. Joy delights in joy. Oh, what marvellous, wonderful.
Like you and me.
yes, of course. I cheer up when I see you.
Vice versa.
Why lovest thou that which thou receivest not gladly, or else receivest with pleasure thine annoy? It's a tongue twister. Basically, you tell me you like porridge, but you always refuse it. And you hate jazz, it gets on your nerves, but you're drawn towards it.
Right, yeah.
People are like that, The next bit, if the true concord of well-tuned sounds by unions married do offend thine ear, there's another contradiction coming up, I should imagine.
Yeah.
In other words, if there's a mixture of sounds that blend together like a married couple in a single chord, if that jars on your ear, they do but sweetly chide thee who confounds in singleness the parts that thou shouldst bear. In other words, they're only telling you off in a sort of jokey manner, and you, meanwhile, you're messing everything up. You're confounding things. You're destroying things in your path. You confound in your singleness, not having children. You confound the parts that thou shouldst bear. Now, I just think of that as the singing parts that you're told to sing in a choir, so it all comes together. But you reckon there's something deeper?
Well, possibly. There are a couple of other things that popped up there for me in those lines. It could be the part that you should bear, as in the part that you should play in married life. So there's the literal sort of thing of music, because that's the metaphor he's using, and then also
the theatrical role that you will be taking.
You would play of being a father, and perhaps even
yes,
physical, physical attribute. I'm always saying the rude stuff in these, but the idea of literally what a man would bear, that his parts, the parts that you bear, which have a particular use, which is for childbearing, child creation.
Yeah.
So there's like sort of potentially 3 meanings in one in those 2 lines. I want to go back very quickly.
Yeah.
Because there might be people out there who, like me, have only heard the word concord in the context of a very fast aeroplane, which is obviously not what was meant in here. Concord means, what did you say?
Harmony.
Just harmony.
It's the opposite of discord.
Oh, right, yeah.
Concord,
that makes sense.
discord, yes.
Yeah.
Perfect harmony. Lovely.
Because I had no idea what to make of that one.
And did we talk about the unions married?
No.
No, well, it sounds like it's a wedding. It sounds like that, unions married. Actually, a union was a scale. Do, mi, so, do, for example.
Oh, okay.
An actual scale was called a union.
Right,
now,
like
if I've got that wrong, I'm sorry, but that's what I've heard. Now then, mark how one string, sweet husband to another, strikes each in each by mutual ordering, resembling sire and child and happy mother, who all in one pleasing note do sing. Are you hearing the rhymes in all this? Because it's very clever. Sadly joy, gladly annoy, sounds ear, confounds bear, another ordering mother sing. Note to sing. Ordering note to sing.
Yeah,
Good,
the
isn't it?
annoy and joy is a particularly good one because they're
Yes.
obviously complete opposites. So I found these 4 lines quite difficult to get around. I sort of got a rough sense of them, but I didn't fully understand the exact point or reference. And then I looked up some stuff about the lute, and the way that a lute is strung is very similar to a 12-string guitar, in that there might be 6, I think, or 7 different notes on a lute. But for each note, there are 2 strings that make up that note. It's called a course of 2 strings. And when you play the lute, if you're playing chords, that's one thing, you just strum them all as you would. If you're plucking, you wouldn't generally pluck each of those 2 strings separately. You would pluck the pairs as if they were one.
Yeah.
And so this
It's a very
sort
good
of
metaphor, isn't it, for
is
man,
perfect, because
yeah.
then it's talking about 2 different strings, so like 2 different people, a man and a woman in this case, who are working towards the same thing. They're sort of singing the same notes.
Same domestic harmony.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so that then made sense of those 4 lines.
Whose speechless song, being many, seeming one, sings this to thee: thou single wilt prove none. Or in today's colloquial, a song without words, the separate voices seeming as one. And what are they all saying to you? If you stay a bachelor, you'll die forgotten, a childless nobody.
That is horrible.
Wow.
Speaking as a single person. Oh, and that was something I wanted to pick up on as well, the phrase none.
Oh, yes.
For me, again, I couldn't quite make 100% sense of that initially, because none for me is like you have some and you have none. 5 and none, it's sort of referring back to something. So I was thinking, none of what? None of what? But none in this context is kind of like calling someone a zero.
Yes.
Like
yes.
You are literally nothing, you are none.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're nobody. You're a nobody.
You're pointless, you're worthless.
Yeah. Shocking.
I know, it's very strange. It's not the be-all and end-all, folks, in my opinion. So, yeah, there seems to be a general idea from Shakespeare that you can't be a full person if you don't enjoy music, which suggests that you really enjoy music.
Or, since it's a metaphor, if you don't marry.
Yeah,
have children.
in this instance,
In this instance, yes.
What is the overall tone that comes across to you?
Well, I like it because it simply flows so well. That's not to say the others are all jerky or anything, but this just, it's like, if I say honey, that's not quite right, but it's very, very gentle and carries the reader on and on and on until the punch happens in the final two lines. We know it's coming, perhaps, but it does seem very stark to say, thou single wilt prove none.
Yeah, is there anything particularly interesting within the structure, the rhymes or the rhythms or something?
Well,
that make things jump out?
Speaking it, I do find this line awkward. They do but sweetly chide thee, who confounds in singleness the parts that thou shouldst bear. It's a difficult little bit, anyway, to understand, but they do but sweetly chide thee. Chide, obviously, is the sort of key word there. Chide thee. So thee sounds like a throwaway, but it can't be, because it's thee who confounds in singleness the parts that thou shouldst bear. You. And it's very difficult to bring that off. I think I shouldn't ever pause, so I think it's best to go, they do but sweetly chide thee who confounds in singleness the parts that thou shouldst bear. And even then, I don't quite know if the listener could follow that.
Well, that's what, for me, I feel like that's where the iambic pops it out, because if you give weight to who, it's almost like, and if you do carry it on, like you said, it almost brings a tone of like this person getting annoyed, the speaker getting annoyed. So what is it?
Yes, well,
they do but sweetly chide thee, who confounds that,
yes, well,
it's almost like a second thought or whatever.
Yes, but they sweetly
annoyed,
chide, but perhaps I don't.
Yeah, maybe.
God, you confound in singleness the parts that thou shouldst bear. You're making a mess of something, which, or maybe you're wrecking the beauty of the part you're singing in this harmony.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore, and the whole thing's coming to a standstill, perhaps.
What have been your thoughts or inspirations, intuition, whatever, on how to put this on camera, how to perform it?
I thought the simplest thing to do was just to do it by myself, because no one's around on Bank Holiday Monday.
Sure.
And I thought, well, I don't want to be Shakespeare, though I have rather good bonds, and the young man I couldn't possibly do, I suppose. So I thought of a sort of kindly uncle, to bring it here rather than drag Shakespeare for 400 years to get here.
Yeah.
And so I'm on the phone to him.
Lovely.
And he's had some kind of a night out, and I'm asking him what happened.
Oh, there was one more thing that you said to me earlier, just when we were chatting, when I talked about what else is important when you're performing Shakespeare. Mm-hmm. And you said something about keeping it simple.
Yes. Everyone comes thinking these are going to be hard, difficult sonnets, but you can get quite a lot out of them if you yourself are looking for the simplicity, the basic meanings of things. It doesn't matter if you don't understand it all, but you get the gist of it in this kind of a thing. Don't stress yourself too much as you read these things.
Yeah.
And read more and more and more, because it's quite addictive.
Yeah,
one leads on to the next, and it's it's just astonishing what the guy did.
Well, thank you so much for being our first guest on Sonnet Sisters.
I'm honoured.
I'm delighted that you could be our first guest. I hope you've enjoyed it. And David will be doing his performance on Saturday. You can see the release anyway of the performance that David does of this sonnet on Saturday. And then next week on Monday, Anna will be diving into sonnet number 9.
Plot thickens.
Yeah, I know. That's it. We're still so near the beginning. Great. So thanks again. And I can't wait to see episode 8C for this one. So until then, see the anon.
Bye-bye.
Come figure it out with the Sonnet Sisters.